He yanked me by the collar before I'd even touched my drink. The music was pounding, laughter rolling across the room. And I was pretending I didn't already know the truth. His breath reeked of beer, his smirk dripping with arrogance as he leaned close and whispered, "She deserves someone who can actually protect her." Then he shoved me hard. Glasses shattered, laughter died, and the noise of the room shrank into silence. He puffed out his chest, trying to look like the conqueror. And for the first time in months, I smiled. Because what he thought was weakness was something else entirely. He had no idea I'd already been protecting her, not from strangers but from him. Lena had always called him, just a friend from work. A phrase so poisonous it ought to be a warning label in every marriage handbook. He texted her late at night. She laughed at his jokes longer and louder than at mine. After team dinners, she came home wearing a perfume that didn't belong to her. But I didn't explode. I didn't accuse. I studied. I waited. It started with syncing our home security cameras to my phone. Then I mirrored her work calendar through our shared family account, disguised as convenience. She thought my trust was blind. It wasn't. It was surveillance cloaked in patience. In 3 weeks, I had confirmation of what I'd already felt in my bones. He wasn't just a coworker. He was a predator dressed as a colleague, mistaking persistence for charm and deceit for love. They hadn't crossed into the physical yet, but betrayal doesn't always need a bed, just a reckless heart and an open door. The night I saw his message, it hit me like ice in my veins. "I can't stop thinking about you. You deserve someone stronger." Lena's response was one word, don't. Not rejection. Not finality. Just hesitation. And hesitation is hope to men like him. That was when I built my plan. Not an impulsive reaction born of rage, but a deliberate design stitched together with patience. A slow, careful revenge. Not fists. Not violence. Consequences. But life has a way of writing irony into the script. Violence found me anyway. The office Christmas party, she begged me to come. "It'll be fun," she said. She didn't know I'd already sent a neat package to his boss. Screenshots of inappropriate texts, expense receipts from nights disguised as client dinners. The first seeds of scandal waiting to grow. I saved one last piece for that night. A recording of his drunken boasting about how he would make her fall. Timing is everything. When I arrived, he was already drunk, his voice louder than the music. His arms slung casually around Lena's shoulders, too familiar, too sure. I smiled, shook hands, played the quiet, unimposing husband. He liked that. Bullies always like believing they're towering over someone smaller. Then came the shove. His palm struck my chest, the crowd gasped. My name slipped from someone's lips. I staggered back, not from force but by design. He laughed, loud and sloppy. And that's when I ended it. I turned to his manager by the bar and said evenly, "You should check your email before your next staff meeting." The man frowned, reached for his phone. A buzz. Another. HR's phone lit up 3 feet away. And then the first recording played. His voice bragging about my wife, about conquering her like a prize. Whispers rippled. I walked to the center, calm, and projected the final blow. A live feed on the big screen, displaying screenshots, receipts, voice clips, stitched together into a confession he'd written himself. The room went still. He lunged, face red with panic. Security rushed forward, but he shoved one aside, swung at another, and then barreled toward me again. I stepped out of his way. His foot caught the raised edge of the bar. He fell, face first, the dull thud of his body carrying more weight than his drunken roar. He didn't rise. Blood dripped from his lip as security dragged him out, stripped of the swagger he'd worn like armor. Lena ran after him, screaming his name, not mine. That cut deeper than anything. Not because I lost her, but because in that moment the truth was undeniable. She'd already chosen him. The rest blurred. Gasps, sidelong glances, murmurs that I'd been humiliated. But when the police arrived, I handed them everything. The emails, the receipts, the timeline of harassment. By New Year's he was jobless, drowning in lawsuits, abandoned by the fiancé I'd quietly informed of his friendship with my wife. Lena called. I let it ring. She came by on January 2nd, eyes swollen from crying, asking to explain. I poured her water and stayed silent. Sometimes silence is the loudest verdict. When she asked if I had orchestrated it, I looked her in the eye and said, "No, he did. I just finished the story he started." She didn't argue. She only stared, as if seeing me for the first time, realizing the man she thought was weak had been something else all along. Rumor has it he spent New Year's Eve in a hospital bed, ranting about how the weak husband set him up. Maybe I did. Maybe I just stopped pretending. And now when people ask why I didn't fight back, why I didn't throw a punch, I just smile. Because I did fight back, just not with my fists. He wanted to prove he was the real man. But he learned the hard way that real men don't roar. Real men wait, plan, and strike where it hurts most.